Hello lovelies and welcome back to the channel. I know last week went by with I think only one video. It was just one of those weeks, you know, when you just lack the motivation and your energy goes everywhere else. It was just one of those weeks. Soccer, kids, yeah, by the end of the day I had no motivation left and something has to give, and it happened to be my art room, so sadly no other videos, but the motivation's coming back. We're back into routine. Children are sorted. Let's get some videos done. So why not start the week with a challenge? I forgot to film hubby pulling the challenge out of the jar. I said, quick, I got a video to do. Grab me a challenge, and he did. And it's a good one too. Well, considering the date, it might be a difficult one. So I love online monthly challenges. You can find a lot on Facebook, Instagram, the internet. And that's what this week's challenge is. Do an online monthly challenge. Now the date is the 26th of February. February has 28 days. Yes, that means there's 2 days left in the month. So it was a good motivation, I guess you could say. Now I chose the Scrap the Girls challenge. I don't tend to do it often because I don't have many girls to scrap. I have just one, to be specific. But I really loved the challenge. I will put a picture of the mood board at the end because it is just a fabulous, gorgeous, rich in colour mood board. And I drew from the colours and also the floral crown head thingy you will see in the picture. And I just loved these bright colours so much. And this picture of me and my niece just happened to be sitting on my desk waiting to be scrapped, and I thought this would go nicely, so I decided to put some modelling paste through a stencil that I happened to have out from a project. Actually, I think it was the last project I did for this challenge series, but the florals in it just worked perfectly for the florals in the mood board. I don't have very many floral stencils. I think this might even be the only one I have, so it kind of worked. And I just did that in the central portion of my layout, and then I had the idea to load it full of colour and really make that pop. This is actually the second time I've done this. The first time I tried it, the mood board colours are the 4 colours I've put in here. The pink, the yellow, the orange and blue. Now obviously when you mix blue and yellow or blue and orange, you get mud. And when I sprayed them, I didn't have enough control and it just turned out horrible. So I started again and decided to use my mists or my sprays as watercolour and put them in a palette so I'd have more control. So I'm using a paintbrush to apply them. And I find when I'm mixing these 3 colours, I like it much more without the blue. So I decided to leave the blue out. And I really love how it works. You know how much I love my blues and how they became my only colour palette, and then trying to modify that I went to pinks, so from one extreme to the other, and they were my colour palettes. So omitting the blue and just working with this colour palette was actually a lot of fun. I love the way the pink and the yellow blend with the orange. I love the colours that this gives me. I really, really love the orange, so I was quite happy with it. And I love how this is different to a lot of my other projects, because like I said, we know how I am very heavy on the blues and the teals and the greens. So this was a completely different colour palette, one that I really, really enjoyed. So all I'm doing is I'm just using my water bottle to help that ink spread and bleed, because I do want the colours to bleed together a little bit, especially when that pink and that orange merge together. It's really beautiful. And because I don't want big blocks of heavy colour, I do want them to bleed into each other, especially that pink because it is so bold and prominent. And I did also want to make sure that I didn't just have one big block of pink, so I've tried to spread the pink so it bleeds around the outside and stays together, so I don't have big blocks of random colour. I do want them to blend and merge. Of course I had to add some splatters. The first lot were actually unintentional, but I just wicked some more splatters on there. So with modelling paste, always make sure you clean your stencil. Actually, I just remembered this stencil is still laying in my bathtub waiting to be cleaned. So I attempted to start clean. You've seen me use ink and paint in my stencils, and the way I clean them is I grab a wet wipe and then just wipe them clean, usually in my journal. When you wipe off gesso or modelling paste, it acts as a resist. So I thought if I wiped this off into my art journal, it would give me a nice resist when I threw some ink at it. Only problem is I'd left this a little too long and it was a little bit dry, so it definitely needed to soak, which is why it's now sitting in my bathtub and I really need to go clean it. But I thought while I had that out, I might use the leftover ink I had and just tip it straight onto the page. I forgot that I had blue still mixed in there, and like I was saying, when we mix blue and orange we get brown, so yeah, I wasn't sure how this would turn out. Adding some water just to mix. Nothing goes to waste in my art room, absolutely nothing. So if I have leftover ink or paint, I'm going to use it. So I thought I'd just throw this in my journal. Then I forgot the blue was in there. Worst comes to worst, I'll cover it up. But the yellow, yeah, there's only a little tiny bit of brown, so I can work with it. And yeah, just adding some water, smushing my journal together just to get the most out of that leftover ink. So now, back to my page. So this is my picture of my lovely little niece. This was her first birthday. And the mood board is about embracing your inner queen and, you know, being a warrior queen, things like that. And I decided to make the layout like that. Rather than be based on her first birthday, sort of embrace that that theme. So I'm just matting my picture on some white copy paper, and then I'm going to mat it on some foam adhesive. No, not adhesive, just some foam to pop it up from my background. I don't embellish much at all. Now that is what you will notice in this layout. My title is pretty much my only embellishment because so much work and effort went into that background, and it is so busy. With that pattern of modeling paste, I didn't want to take away from it, and honestly I didn't know how to embellish it. I was just so focused on those flowers in the background, and obviously I don't have flowers that match this color tone without fussy cutting. I don't even think I had paper to fussy cut to make it work. When I saw the mood board, this is what I envisioned, these colors, this background, so I really wanted to focus on that. So I don't embellish it much at all. I'm going through some of my Flutterby stuff that is happened to be sitting on my desk. This is the new Magical AF collection. It's sitting on my desk because it's the most recent one and I'm still using it. And I thought, you know me, if it's on my desk, I'm going to use it. I'm not going to get up in the middle of a project and go look for things. I'm going to use what's within arm's reach. So if there's something specific I want to use, I have to make sure I pull it out before I start because I'm not going to get up in the middle of a layout. I have so much in my stash that I can't look at a layout and think, oh, this will work nicely. I just have so much that I got no clue. Unless I pull it out beforehand or have a collection specifically altogether, that's the only time I'm going to use it. So I need to, if there's something I want, I have to remember to go get it before I start, or something specific I want to use. In this case, I just wanted to use this background, these colors, and this stencil. So I did go through what was left of the Flutterby things on my desk. I thought I could use something in there for the title. I did like this black Make Your Life. I thought it stood out from the background, from the layout really nicely. And then I went with the sparkle. I tried to bring in some of the blue using these stars. Don't worry, they don't stay. It just didn't work for me. I thought I could bring some blue in from the mood board, but yeah, it just didn't look right. It didn't work, probably because there was not really much else I wanted to embellish the layout with. So in the end, I scrapped that, and I just go with my title, and then I just use some little rhinestones and things to embellish around my title, make some little tiny gemstone clusters. So in the end, my title is Make Your Life Sparkle Princess. I thought that went with the warrior queen type, you know, the queen and princess type thing. You know, she's a very strong, independent little 1-year-old, very full of personality. So yeah, just this whole mood board works for her anyway, just this theme. But that's what I decided to go with, my title, nice and simple. And yeah, that's pretty much all I do to embellish my page. I do get some of these awesome, really big sparkly gems, and I decide to use them in a few areas around my title. And then that's pretty much it for the layout. So what I did forget to mention at the beginning of the video is if you're new to the channel, you might not know what the challenge series is about. So basically, I have a little cool jar full of random challenges, a lot that are recommended by subscribers as well. And every week we pull one out of the jar and then I do the challenge. And then I challenge you to take up that challenge as well. How many times can we say challenge in one sentence? So basically, it's a challenge for me to do to show you my interpretation, and then I ask you to do the challenge as well. Now, we do have a hashtag on Instagram as well because we really do want to see what you do from the prompt. So if you decide to take part, let us know. Tag me over on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram too, and you'll see some of the awesome things that people have come up with from past challenges. Like I said, if you have any suggestions, add them in the comments below. We would absolutely love to fill this jar a bit more and see what you come up with. So that's it from me for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll take part in the challenge. Bye for now.